Sundari, Tripura Sundari, Bala Tripura Sundari Gai Gonu Maharati, Bala Tripura Sundari Gai Gonu Maharati, Ganalola Jalamela Dari Jupuma, Ganalola Jalamela Dari Jupuma. Sundarangi andaruni satiraruga, Sundarangi andaruni satiraruga, Sandehamunu andamuga tirpu mantini, Sandehamunu andamuga tirpu mantini. You must have heard this song if you are familiar with my music. This song has become kind of popular during the past maybe around 10 years after YouTube came. This is a composition by one of my most favorite, beloved pet composers, Prayaga Rangadasa, who was the grandfather of Dr. Mangalampalli Balamuralikrishna sir. About Prayaga Rangadasa, he left his native place, which is a small village called Gudimellanka in Andhra Pradesh. If you go to Andhra Pradesh, there is this place which the British called Rajahmundry, which is actually Raja Mahendravaram. So because the British could not say Raja Mahendravaram, like I am from Tiruvananthapuram, they call it Trivandrum. So like that, Raja Mahendravaram is Rajahmundry, which has no meaning at all. From Raja Mahendravaram, if you go around 80 kilometers by car, on the way to the beautiful Narasimha temple at Antarvedi, which is on the banks of the Godavari river. In between, on the way, we have Gudimallanka. And very close to Gudimallanka, there is a small village called Shankaraguptam, which is where Dr. Balamuralikrishna was born. And very near Gudimallanka and Shankaraguptam is a small village called Kadali. And it is in Kadali that there is a Kapoteswara Swamy temple. So when I learned this composition first many years ago, Sthiramuga Sri Kadali Yandu Velasiti Vamma Dharanilo Sri Rangadasuni Dayanu Juduma. That line came. So Sthiramuga Sri Kadali Yandu. I used to imagine that Bala Tripura Sundari was somebody who was living in the ocean, Kadali. It is much later when a kind gentleman posted a comment on one of my YouTube videos saying Kadali is actually a place in Andhra Pradesh, that I physically went to Kadali and had darshan. Very small, very quaint, very beautiful temple with a nice pond. And that entire area is very lush and green, beautiful, especially if you go after the monsoon right now, or if you go October, November, December, January, February, then the weather is not too hot either. Otherwise, during summer, it can get really hot. So the reason why I am making this video is that, like so many places of worship, sacred locations in India, there are so many stories connected to these temples. And when I made that video at Kadali, I didn't know this legend behind the temple. So I thought I'll just share the story with you for those of you who know and who love Bala Tripura Sundari composition. Okay, so the story was that once Shiva and Parvati were sitting at home and they were having a conversation, and like many married couples, they had a bit of an argument. So since I'm not married, I don't know what married couples do, but apparently married couples sometimes have arguments. So Shiva and Parvati had a little bit of an argument initiated by Parvati. So she told Shiva, there are so many people who claim to be devotees of Shiva. They are devout and they are loyal to you, and in French they call it fidèle, the fidelity towards you. But most of them can't be trusted. It is only when the going is good that they do that. The moment they are faced with some adversity, they will just leave you and start cursing you. So Shiva said, absolutely no. Each of my devotees, they are 100% devoted to me. And so then Parvati said, oh really? Then shall I test one of your devotees? So Shiva said, sure, no problem. And then they just looked and saw that in a forest there was a hunter about to hunt some animals, because he had a pair of aging parents whom he had to feed. So he had to kill some animal and feed his parents. So that was a hunter. So hunter was not the kind who would get up at 4 in the morning and have a bath and do puja and acharam and all that. It was just a hunter. So Parvati Devi chose him as the candidate because this hunter was apparently a Shiva Bhakta. So Parvati told Shiva, how about this hunter? You think he is faithful to you? Shiva said, yes, 100%. Then Parvati said, let us test him. So whenever the hunter would fire an arrow at any of the animals, even an animal standing right in front of him, the arrow would miss. So once, okay, twice, okay, 3 times, okay, again and again and again the arrows kept missing. So Parvati was sure that he would start cursing Shiva. But instead of cursing Shiva, he started praying and saying, oh my God, these animals are standing right in front of me, I never miss, and somehow my arrows are all misfiring today. I must have done some mahapapam or something wrong. And he begged forgiveness to Lord Shiva. Please forgive me if I have done any mistake, because if I don't get an animal, my parents, my old parents will starve and die. So please forgive me. But his devotion was unchanging and he never questioned, hey Shiva, how come I'm missing this? Nothing like that. So Shiva was little happy and Parvati was little angry. Then she said, I want to give him a little bigger test. So then suddenly she started torrential rain. So from out of nowhere, torrential rain started. And of course the animals ran away. Then the hunter is again, instead of cursing Shiva, he is feeling even more bad. He says, oh my God, just like that, rain came from nowhere. Today I may not get any animals. I must have done something really wrong. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. So he's praying to Shiva only. So then Parvati got even more angry. And Shiva is kind of laughing. See, I told you. So then suddenly the rain stopped and Parvati Devi started a forest fire. So suddenly the fire came after rain. So the hunter is completely freaked out. He says, I have never seen anything like this. Firstly, I miss all my arrows. Then it suddenly rains and now there's a forest fire. I am doomed. I must be like the worst person in the world. So he just went and sat below a tree and he's feeling so sad. Oh my God, oh my God. And he's praying to Shiva. But not once did he question Shiva or ask, why, like that. So then Parvati is convinced that his devotion is steady, steadfast. So then Shiva is feeling very happy. At that time, the forest is on fire and the hunter is sitting below a tree, and on top of that tree, a husband and wife, pair of pigeons are seated. And they see this man crying and feeling sad and starving, and because he doesn't have any food to give his parents. So the husband pigeon says, see, this gentleman, he is sitting at our tree. Because he is sitting at our tree, he is our guest. And as many of us know, in Indian culture, it is Atithi Devo Bhava. Somebody who's a guest is sacred and equal to God. So the husband pigeon says, it's our responsibility to see to it that this man is no longer sad or crying. So he tells his wife, I'm going to give myself as dinner for this poor man's parents. And the pigeon just dives down into the fire right in front of the hunter and gets incinerated. So the man is so happy. Oh my God, just from nowhere one pigeon came and fell into the fire and it is cooked already. So I don't even have to cook the pigeon. His dinner is ready made. So he's feeling really happy. At that time, the wife pigeon, she decides, oh, if my husband does that, I want to offer myself also. So the lady pigeon, she also dives into the fire and she is also incinerated. Then the hunter is so happy. Oh my God, 2 pigeons. So now my parents will be happy. They'll have food for dinner, and he gets up and he goes home. So seeing this, not only Parvati but Shiva, they are so shocked at the good heartedness, the generosity, the sacrificing nature of the 2 pigeons. So then Shiva says, not only will these pigeons go to heaven, I don't want them to go to heaven, I want them to be with me and in me. And he embraces the Atma, the soul of the 2 pigeons, and they blend into Shiva. So after blending into Shiva, if you go to Kapoteswara Temple, so Kapota is a pigeon, kabutar we say in Hindi. So Kapoteswara Temple, the Shivalingam actually has the 2 pigeons engraved on the Shivalingam itself, and the temple has carvings of many pigeons, and the temple has many real living pigeons also. So I saw the pigeons and I saw the Shivalingam also, but the story I came to know after I had taken and posted the video on YouTube. So I forgot. In fact, it would have been nice if I stood in front of the temple and told you the story, but never too late. So this is Kapoteswara Temple. But Kadali, Bala Tripura Sundari, there is another story, not a long story like this. But next to the Shiva is Bala Tripura Sundari. So when I went there, I thought it's such a remote place, as I said, more than 80 kilometers away from Rajamahendravaram, in the interior, but very lush and green and beautiful Andhra Pradesh. So when I went there, secretly I was feeling a little arrogant, because even Mangalapalli Balamuralikrishna sir, just before he passed away, he went all the way to Antarvedi and to Shankaraguptam to see his own birthplace. But unfortunately, he passed away not knowing about either Gudimallanka or Kadali. So I was going there and I felt little proud of myself, thinking, oh, I must be the first Malayali from Kerala to go to Kadali. And then when I go there, I find Bala Tripura Sundari, beautiful Bala Tripura Sundari, and the idol was consecrated, done pratishtha there by Adi Shankaracharya, who is also from Kerala. So they say about Neil Armstrong landing on the moon, or Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay conquering Mount Everest. Whenever anybody goes to a place where they feel I am the first person to go, we find one Malayali has already come before. So they say that when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, there was Mr. Nair standing there with his tea shop saying, would you like to have a cup of tea? So Bala Tripura Sundari was one of the more than 100, there's one specific number which I forgot now, Shakti Peethams established by Adi Shankara like a necklace all over India to give protection. And Prayaga Rangadasa, being from Gudimallanka, and Gudimallanka, so many of his compositions will have the word Gudimallanka. And there is his family temple is a Venugopala temple. So for example, Rama Ramayana Radha Raghupati Rakshakudani Vinaleda. In that, the entire song is about Rama. But last line, Vasudhanu Gudi Mellankanu Velasina Varagopalude Kada. So Gudi Mellanka comes there. Or Rama Nama Mrutamu Manasa Paname Puducheyuma. There also, Dharanu Gudi Mellanka Puramuna Venu Varagopaluda. So Venu Varagopaluda in a Rama song, only last line. So though Rangadasa left Gudimallanka and went to Prayagraj and spent so many years there, from his heart Gudimallanka never left. So again and again Gudimallanka comes. Like Rangadasa, which was his signature, the word Gudimallanka keeps coming in many, if not most of his compositions. So yeah, so that is the story behind Bala Tripura Sundari, and many people ask what ragam is Bala Tripura. So there are so many compositions of his which follow ragams. There is another Bala Tripura Sundari in Kedaragola, very, very, very beautiful. I have sung that. It's there available on YouTube also. Bala Tripura Sundari, like, very, very beautiful. That is in Kedaragola. There are other songs in other raga, like Rama Varma is in Sindhu Bhairavi. Ramudu bhavinchinadu Rakukulam Bunas in Centurity. Like that, many are, but there are so many songs by him which are not raga based also. And one of them is Bala Tripura Sundari. Bala Tripura Sundari Gai Konu Maharati Gana Lola Jala Mela Dari Jupum. There is no raga at all. Krishnamma Gopala Bala Krishnamma Govinda Bala Krishnamma Gopala Bala Krishnamma. That is actually on Udimallanka Venugopala Temple. Beautiful description of the food he will give him and the ornaments he will adorn him with. So very, very cute, but that has no ragam. So Bala Tripura Sundari, for those of you who know the song, who like the song, who would like to discover the song, this is the story behind the Devi and Kapoteswara Temple. So rather than just watch the video, try and physically go there, even if you are not from that area. See, I am, as I said, or Adi Sankara also, we are from Kerala, but we went there. So even if you are a Telugu person living in America or Kannadiga person living in Karnataka or Malayali, it doesn't matter. It's very, very, very nice. It's a very beautiful part of India also, that on the banks of the Godavari. Godavari sometimes gets angry, like Godavari did, I think, 2 weeks ago. Bhadrachalam was underwater and all that. But it's magnificent, and if you go to that area, then make it a point to go to Venugopala Temple in Udimallanka, Kapoteswara Temple in Kadali, and Antarvedi, Narasimha Temple at Antarvedi on the banks of the Godavari. They offer boat rides also in Antarvedi, which if you are very, very adventurous and if you know swimming, you can do that. But I took a boat ride once and I said, okay, once was enough, never again, because the water was so choppy and the river joins the ocean. So there is nothing there, but you can see one natural divide where the ocean, the water from the ocean and the salt water from the ocean, the fresh water from the river clash. And in the middle of the water, there are waves. I mean, normally we have waves on the beach or on land, but here in the middle of the water, they have waves, and it was very magnificent, very fascinating, and rather terrifying also. So that one boat ride was enough for me. I don't plan to go by boat in Godavari again, at least not in Antarvedi, in a small boat. But yeah, so I guess that's all for now. So do try and make that trip. It will be really, really nice. You will thank me if you go there. Okay. Bye.